Texas Math Mundo audience, are we in store for a treat today? In the house is the Texas UIL state champion in calculator applications, Conference 5A, Mr. Ayden Gertiser, a proud Abilene Wylie High School Bulldog. Ayden Gertiser in the house. Let me take a quick moment and ask that if you enjoy this content, could you please hit the subscription button and the notification bell, that you leave a comment below, and that you smash that like button. It really helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. Let's spread this joy, let's spread this beauty to as many people as possible. Mr. Ayden Gertiser, longtime friend of the channel, state champion Class 5A calculator applications, Wylie High School, right ahead. My name is Saul Cantu, and this is Texas Math Mundo. Math Mundo audience, are we in store for a spectacular treat today? In the house, the Texas UIL state champion, Class 5A calculator applications individual state champion, Mr. Ayden Gertiser. Ayden's a graduate of Abilene Wylie High School, a proud Bulldog. He's been a friend of this channel. And Ayden, let me tell you, few things gave me more happiness when I saw that you won a state title this year. You and Derek Lee. First of all, you had your freshman year canceled because of COVID. And then you all been knocking on the door, and this year you all busted through with state championships. I'm so happy. Hey, thanks for being here. Welcome, Ayden.
Thanks. It's great to be here. Yeah, I think Derek and I just had enough of getting second place at state. We just decided to punch it in this year. I think we probably have like 4 or 5 silver medals between us. Yeah, exactly. It's nice to get it through this last time.
Knocking on the door. I've been big fans. You all been friends of the channel. And to see you all win, it was so poetic, man. Especially your senior year, after putting in such great work and being so close. I was so happy. Nothing made me smile more than those 2 results at the state meet this year. Hey, how are you doing?
I mean, I'm doing pretty well. Getting ready to go to UT. Gonna move in about 2 weeks.
Wow.
So I'm getting ready for that.
Time flies, man. Time flies. So you're gonna take your talents to UT.
That's right.
UT got themselves a good one, man. UT got themselves a good one. So what have you been up to this summer? How you been having fun? Are you studying? You're preparing? What are you doing?
Well, I've been doing a lot of preparing for college. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff that people don't always tell you the first time. Like my mom didn't go to college and my dad went to college like a while ago, and then my grandpa went to college in like the 70s. And so there's been a lot that's changed, and I'm kind of like the guinea pig. I have a little sister, so she's going to be really happy to know all this stuff that I figured out. But I've just been trying to keep up, you know.
What an exciting time of your life. So exciting, because you're closing one chapter, opening a new chapter, going to a tier 1 university, going to have so many brilliant, you must be excited. Tell me you're excited.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I wasn't, to be honest, I wasn't too excited about going to UT. I was kind of just like whatever. Like you go to college in Texas, and if you're at the top of your class, it's kind of just where you end up. But I went and toured it with a friend of mine back in April, and he showed me around. Like he's doing a physics major as well, and he showed me around like the lab he works in for his freshman research and like the different things that there are to do there. And I just had a great time. So I wasn't too excited about it then, but I got pretty excited about it after that.
Oh, absolutely, man. It's an exciting time. It's about to get real. It's about to get real in about 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Hey, before we get deep into the UIL, I do want to ask, I want to know a little bit about you. So where are you from, born and raised, and what's your cultural heritage?
Okay, so I was actually born in Maryland, pretty far away, and then I kind of moved around a bit because my dad's in the military, and so we lived in like Mississippi and then Virginia, and I lived in Virginia until I was like 9 or 10, and then we moved here to Abilene, and so I've kind of been a lot of places. I mean, it's mostly southern places because I lived in Maryland only when I was like 1 or 2. But yeah, I've kind of lived a lot of places. It is really interesting because like you would think that the difference between like Mississippi and Texas wouldn't be that different, but I don't know. It's been an interesting journey.
Wow. Well, you seem to have found a home in Abilene, Wylie. Did you enjoy your time there?
Oh yeah, I remember that I did not enjoy my time like the first couple years I was there. Maybe like because I moved at the end of the school year, like at the end of 4th grade, and I had like gotten a pretty good group of friends. I mean, as good as a group of friends as you can have whenever you're like 7 or 8 years old. But I was kind of upset that we had to move. But one day I kind of just sat down at the table, and like Dylan from the calculator team.
Yeah.
There was like him and like a bunch of other guys that might not necessarily do UIL, and I kind of sat down with them, and that was basically my friend group all the way through senior year of high school.
Wow, wow. Wow.
So it's cool to be able to like stick with that for the whole time.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. All right, hey, we're going to get deep into UIL and Abilene Wylie High School, but first, when did you first realize that you had a talent mathematically?
So when I lived in Virginia, they had this magnet school that all the towns or all the schools in the area fed into, and so I went to this elementary school, and they kind of just brought everyone out of class, and they took us into these little portable classrooms they had outside, and you had to take this. I assume it was an IQ test. They didn't actually call it that. They didn't even tell me what I scored, but it turned out that I got into this fancy school, and I was like, okay, whatever. I'm like 8 at the time, and I figured out that I was good at math pretty quickly, just because I seemed to just understand it quicker than most people. But I didn't really enjoy it until I got into like the UIL Team SCA thing, like in 5th and 6th grade. So I found out I was good at it pretty early, but I wasn't like super excited about it.
And so was that your introduction to competitive mathematics, 5th, 6th grade? How did you get into it?
So in 5th grade, or like in elementary school, they have UIL, but it's like you only do one event, and it's like one meet, and it's like, well, really, like what's really the point of this? And so that was so I moved at the end of 4th grade to Abilene, and then the regional meet is like in November, and so I competed in number sense that first time because that was the only one out of those, like out of the math and science ones that carry over into elementary school, and they at the last second, the guy that was going to be on the UIL number sense team that had won the competition the last year decided he wanted to do some like social studies event or something. I think this kid moved. I don't even know who it was anymore. And so I wasn't in anything. And so my math teacher kind of just put me in there. We had a practice that day after school. I learned all those like FOIL, Levin's trick, like how to add consecutive numbers, all that kind of stuff. And then like 2 or 3 weeks later, we went to the regional meet, and I got first place.
Wow.
It was a pretty mediocre score. I think I scored like a 92 or something. But it was pretty fun, and it was enough to keep me in it. And then towards the end of the year, they started having like the regional and like the qualifying meets for junior high, right, where you actually have to go out of town and stuff.
Yeah.
And the middle school coach let me tag along. they let me tag along, and I hadn't practiced number sense at all since that meet because I didn't realize that there was stuff after the fact. But I went on that trip. There was a couple of other fifth graders. Dylan actually went on that trip as well, and yeah, I had a great time. It was fun just going on the trips, and yeah, I wasn't too competitive yet, but it was still a lot of fun, and I kind of just stuck with it.
So who inspired you? Who inspired you?
Oh, I had a lot of really great coaches. So like back in fifth grade, retired teacher now, her name was Miss Brown. She was the one that was like, "Oh, we have an extra spot. Why don't you just give this a shot?" Right. So, and then in sixth grade, I had a coach. Her name was Dr. Hart, and then I went to junior high. So we had like a sixth grade coach, and then going into junior high, we had our coach, Miss Martinez, who, by the way, was now our high school coach. She got moved up. She got moved up to the high school. So it was really cool because they didn't always know everything. I wouldn't say that they were like experts. I mean, they weren't bad at it by any means. But they didn't necessarily know all of it. But the thing that inspired me is that if I ever asked a question that they didn't know, it was always consistent. They would always go home and figure it out, and then the next day they would try to explain it to me. And that's the part that I really thought was inspiring. Not that they like knew all this cool math, but the fact that I could ask, and then they would, if they didn't know, they would research it for me, basically.
Oh, yeah. I understand. I tell coaches all the time, you don't have to be the expert. You just got to be someone who cares. Take the kids to tournaments and try to give them the opportunity.
And it sounds a little bit cheesy, but my mom really was a big part of it. Part of the school, like letting us go to certain meets, is that you needed a certain number of chaperones per kid, or sorry, like certain number of kids per chaperone, I guess is how you would put it. And we had a pretty decent team, and my mom went on almost all of these trips, and that's what let us go to more meets. So I remember in seventh grade, there was a stretch from like January, like mid-January, all the way to like the regional meet in the beginning of March, where every Saturday was a Team SCA meet. And that was because we had like parents that decided that they would tag along.
I had the great pleasure of meeting your mom. What a wonderful lady. And you're right. Every time I saw you at a tournament, like Team SCA State or anything, I always saw her there. You know, an unsung hero in the background, really supporting you. So I really have to applaud her, man. That's great to have that kind of support.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Awesome. All right, let's get to Abilene Wylie High School. You found a home there. Can you describe Abilene Wylie High School? What's it like?
Oh, so it's a pretty recently made 5A. So whenever I was competing in junior high, it was 4A, and then like the 2018-2019 school year, it got moved up to a 5A. And so it's kind of like, when you think of a 5A school, it's not, Wylie usually isn't what you're going to think of when you think of a 5A school. But like the academics are good. The athletics have definitely improved in the last couple of years. I remember I was in the band, and so I saw firsthand like whether or not our football team was doing well or not. And I remember the first 2 years we were in 5A, we won a total of like 2 games. And it was horrible. It sucked to go to all those games, especially those ones that are like 4 hours away, because of course we live in Texas.
But did the band entertain? Did the band entertain at halftime?
Oh yeah, we did. We were good. We were good. We were lots of fun. We got like the Seven Nation Army and everything going on. You know how that is.
I do.
And then, but then as it kept going, we got a new coach. Like the old coach retired, and we had some really good athletes come up, and we did a lot better. Academically, I'm not going to say that it's not competitive, but you hear about places like Highland Park and and like Allen and Clements. It's not quite like that from what I've heard. But the thing that I do like about it is not everything is just given to students. And so the students that are really passionate about it, about learning, and passionate about just having knowledge, and are willing to put in the work, they're the ones that really shine. And it's really nice. It's really nice contrast to what I've heard in some 6A schools or some bigger schools, some wealthier schools, where a lot of kids are like, oh, all this stuff is given to me. If I want tutoring, I can get tutoring, right? And so they don't work as hard. Well, at Wylie, if you want to do well, all you have to do is work hard.
Okay.
That's really what it comes down to, which I think is almost better.
And you were valedictorian, right?
That's right.
Congratulations. That's a big deal. But also, Wylie offered you opportunity to explore your other interests, like music.
That's right. Oh yeah, they do a really good job about that. So I was in band. Obviously, I was talking about that before. And the thing that our band directors always emphasized was band and, right? So you can do band and sports. You can do band and like UIL or choir or theater or whatever. And so they're really good about making sure that if you want to be in an extracurricular, that you don't have to sacrifice your other extracurriculars for other ones. Or if you still want to do good in your academic setting, you don't have to give up doing band or football or whatever.
I love that because they have their UIL competition too. And so they get greedy for time sometimes, but the fact that they wanted you to explore other interests, that speaks volumes about the director.
Definitely.
Awesome. Hey, you know what else made me smile? Not only are you individual state champion, Abilene Wylie took home the team gold too. That was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
You want to
That
talk
felt
about your
good.
teammates and the team championship?
Oh yeah, we've been knocking on the door for a while. I mean, I remember. So obviously, state was canceled my freshman year. That kind of sucked. But sophomore year, we started putting a team together. Right, we had our two best people graduate. So like whenever I was a freshman, we had two seniors that were really good. They would make like 300 plus on math. And I was a freshman coming in. I was making like 250s, and I was getting up there. And we were like, we got a really good shot at winning state in math and calculator this year. And then it got canceled, and we're like, dang, that just sucks. And then sophomore year, we started rebuilding a little bit. We got some good team members, and I think we got third that year. That was the year that Derek's brother was a senior, Brian Lee, and Sherilyn Pioneer got like a 900 team score at state or something crazy. And that was a hard test. Like it was definitely harder than this year's test. And then last year, or my junior year, I guess, we were just that close. We had like between the three of us, we missed like 4 crunchers, and we lost by like 3 questions. It's just like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I kind of just took it out of us. And then, of course, I got second in calculator that year. Daniel over at Pioneer beat me by 1 question.
Oh, Daniel Ramirez.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere. I mean, I wouldn't say it came out of nowhere, but definitely improved a lot from the previous year.
You know
and then this year, yes?
Go ahead.
And then, of course, this year we were like, okay, we can't miss any crunchers. We're not going to miss any crunchers because if we had just not the previous year, we would have won. And I mean, obviously we have to practice the other stuff, but between the 3 of us, we only missed 1 number cruncher.
Wow.
Between the 3 of us. And we all had sub 10 number crunchers.
And it was close. It was close.
Argyle gave us a run for our money. For being a new 5'8", Argyle showed up. I think they only lost by like 18 or 14 or something like that.
And what I want to highlight and underscore is that your victory was really great as an individual and as a team because the level of competition in 5A is ridiculous. The top 10 names are superstars, just to begin with, individually. And then the teams, I think 5A had like the top scores regardless of classification in calculator this year.
I can't remember what school it was, but we got an 894, and we tied the 6A school. Katy Seven Lakes? Is that what it was?
Yes, 7 Lakes.
I think we both got an 894. I never looked at what the tiebreaker was.
Okay.
Our 4th had a little bit of a rough day. He missed like 9 number crunchers. He was new to state. Like he's going to be really good in these coming years. But like, I mean, state nerves get to everyone the first year. So they probably technically got a better score than us, but yeah.
How sweet
but
it
only
is,
missed
though.
1.
How sweet it is to have that goal, man. Hey, so tell me, how do you become a champion, I mean, what was the study habits like? What was the dedication like? How many did y'all go to many practice meets? How do you become a state champion?
Oh, okay. So practice meets, we go to a handful of practice meets. One thing that one thing that our coaches like is to go to Team SCA State. You have to attend at least 3 practice meets. So they like that. So that, well, especially for seniors, where you can get scholarships at the Team SCA meet, they like to get them that practice at UIL. So let me think. We had one in the fall, and then, or two in the, yeah, 2 in the fall, and then we had the Invitational A, which I always missed because that was the same day as like our region band clinic, which, I mean, that clinic is a lot of fun, so I wasn't too upset about that. And then we had Invitational B, which of course we have at our school, and then Team SCA. So I guess we had a decent number of practice meets, not as much as like I was talking about in middle school whenever we were going all the way from mid-January all the way to March and not missing one. But yeah, so we had a decent number of practice meets. Virtual challenge meets are they're very good, especially for seniors that might not have a lot of time, and like juniors and seniors that might not have a lot of time. Let's see, what else? Oh, practice. We found this booklet of calculator practice problems from previous years. So we don't have a lot of actual practice tests because our coaches are relatively new, and so they don't have like the same archives that some coaches will have. But we found this book, and it's just like it's over 1,000 calculator practice problems, like S and Gs, no crunchers. But I think between Team SCA State and no, it was like between the start of March and district, I worked every single question in that 1,200 question packet.
Really?
In like 3 or 4 weeks. Yeah.
Is that the UIL produced one? Is that the UIL pamphlet, the one with all the stadium geometry problems? Or do you know?
I don't know. It was written by Dave Burrell.
Oh, okay.
And I think the copyright on it says like 2012 or something.
It might
all
be
the problems.
UIL one.
I think the latest sets of problems were like in 2009 or something like that.
Cool. Awesome. Good stuff.
But a lot of his problems repeat, and there was actually 2 geometries on the state test that were identical. I mean, different numbers, but like identical from this packet to the state test.
Oh wow!
And you just think like if I hadn't answered those, yeah. And when the gap is that close, whenever you have like Derek and Daniel and Brennan and and James and
Nicholas. Yeah,
seriously. I'm just talking in 5A.
Oh, just 5A.
Like I got all those names, and that's just 5A.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah, that really came in clutch. Wow. And then of course you gotta punch. You just have to, because if you don't, you'll miss questions, and then you lose.
Hey, calculator.
It's not very fun.
What calculator do you use?
I use the TI Inspire.
The CAS.
And yes, the CAS. And I don't have my HP laying around, but I use an HP 35S.
Oh, all right, cool.
Which is like a reverse Polish notation. I mean, of course, you know that.
Hey, great combination there.
It is. It's pretty nice. We used the 35S in junior high, and so that was a pretty nice transition. Learning this new calculator, it definitely took a while, but once you figure out how to use it, it really saves you time on things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, what's your favorite moment from UILs these past years?
Ooh, favorite moment? Okay, they're both going to be from this year. One of them is like a personal favorite, and one of them is just like a UIL favorite sort of thing. I think, okay, it's obviously, so like personal favorite is us winning team at state, because we practice like every we meet at this coffee shop that's like on the intersection of like these 2 highways. It's called Mad Coffee, and on Mondays we would always meet at this coffee shop and practice. We practiced for like 2-3 hours, and we would always talk about like what are we gonna do if we break 900 at state? What are we gonna do if whoever misses the most crunchers has to do like this forfeit or something like that and just like the friendly banter, but all of that combining to winning state senior year. I mean, it's just about like the perfect story you can have. The other one, I just thought of this. The other one was Team SCA from this year. Whenever Derek and I tied for Top Gun,
Oh,
that was pretty
beautiful.
great.
Yes, that's beautiful, man. That's beautiful.
That was
Hey,
pretty great.
so how does it feel to finally hit the mountaintop to be a state champion?
Ooh, it feels pretty great. It's a long time in the making, and it feels pretty great. And it's not like the one thing that I was a little bit concerned about was I don't want to win state, but it be because like everyone else like had a bad day. But I feel like this year's state was like the complete opposite. Like you look at calculator, and sixth place in 5A was over 300,
Yeah.
right? So and then even if you look at math, like I got second in math, but it was because Agnew over at Frisco got a 340. It's like I can't even be mad at that, you know.
Hey,
But that was really good. Not only to win, but to win against such like crazy competition.
you make a great point. It makes the victory that much sweeter when you have to take your A game to win it because everybody else had stellar performances too.
Mhm.
Awesome. That's a great, great point. All right. So where are you going to keep that gold medal?
Oh, I have it on my shelf over here.
Oh, nice display.
You see, I have this little display. These are only medals and like trophies you can see like up there a little bit.
Yes.
These are only my medals and trophy from Team SCA State this year, like onwards.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, so I did pretty well. But I don't know if it's gonna stay up there while I'm at college. I mean, I probably won't take it just because it's a pretty good chance I'll lose it, and I don't want that to happen. But it's probably gonna stay right there.
That's a safe place for them until you can proudly display it wherever you end up working or wherever you end up, man. That's
Yeah, I'll bring it to a job interview, and it's like I'll be in Iowa or something where they don't even know what UIL is, and I'll be like, why should we hire you? It's like, oh, because I won calculator. I won state champion in calculator when I was 18. And they're like, cool. What does that mean?
If we were talking about how competitive 5A has been and has been for the last few years, you want to do a shout out to some of your rivals from the past 4 years?
Oh man, yeah, definitely, definitely. Derek and I have just gotten back and forth for the past 4 years. It's been crazy. He pulled ahead a little bit in number sense at the end. I pulled ahead a little bit in math, but us in calculator, I mean, it seemed like every other meet was just flipping. Like I think if state had been a week later, he would have won. You know, like if regionals had been that day and then state had been the next, he might have won that day. Just crazy amount of competition there. And then, let's see. Obviously, I don't even know if I'd consider him a rival, but Justin Lee over at Highland Park.
He's a legend.
Yeah, he's a little bit up here. So I'd probably let him call me a rival before I agreed with that. But definitely he pushed me in math a lot. My sophomore year, I was doing really well in math, and I thought like I came out of that test room and I was like, man, I think I just won state. And I broke 300, but then you have Justin up here with like a 338 or something like that.
He was ridiculous.
I'm like, well, it was a good shot. And then let me think. Oh, definitely James Reagan this year over at Argyle. We were thinking when we heard Argyle was moving up and was going to be in our region, we were kind of like, I mean, whatever. Like it's a 4A school. They were good in 4A. Like they'll be okay in 5A, but we don't really have to worry about them. And then we started seeing their scores in the virtual meets, and that was really a big motivator for our team because we didn't want to go like we wanted to win state. We didn't want to have to worry about not even making it.
That's right.
And that was crazy. And yeah, like that motivation was definitely there. Him and Carolyn, I think, is going to be a senior this next year. Actually, at regionals, we set it up so that I had to beat James, Dylan had to beat Carolyn, and Arnav had to beat. I can't remember what their third's name is. I feel bad, but that's how we set it up. We're like, you just have to beat the person. You just have to beat like the corresponding person, and then we're good.
Well, they are a perennial powerhouse UIL academic team, so they're good every year.
Yeah, we might have underestimated them a little bit coming into the year, but James really stepped it up. I think, especially at Team SCA. I think he got a really good score at Team SCA. And then who else?
Tony Wayne.
I mean, oh yeah, definitely. There's so many just
Yeah.
rushing around in my brain that it's hard to put a name on
Great
any
ones
of them.
out there.
Oh yeah, definitely Tony. Like we saw each other at all those Lubbock meets, and man, he really gave me a run for my money in math this year.
Yeah, they were great over there.
And every year.
Awesome. So here's what my question is really. Now that you're gone, what's going to happen to Abilene, Wylie, the Bulldogs? Are they still going to be competitive? What are your predictions for that program?
Ooh, it's definitely going to be interesting, but we have a couple of freshmen that are doing pretty well.
Okay.
They haven't been introduced to like the cast or anything, but they're just good at math, just in general. And then we have Arnav coming back. Dylan and I both graduated. In fact, we're both going to UT. So Arnav's coming back. We got Paul coming back, who we figured it out. If he had just not missed crunchers, he would have been in like the 260s range his first year at state, that's pretty solid. So he just has to not miss crunchers.
Yeah.
Easier said than done, I guess. And then let's see. We've got a handful of like incoming juniors that you haven't really seen that much of, just because they haven't been on teams, because our team has been pretty good these last couple of years. That are definitely going to be making a comeback, or not a comeback, but they're going to rise the ranks. So it's going to be interesting. We've got a. Oh yeah, same thing about Lubbock.
No, you're in the same district as Lubbock, right?
Oh yeah, same district as Lubbock, and same region as. Well, I mean, Lubbock, Argyle, Grapevine, Canutillo, Ryder. Our region is just stacked on measure. So even if we have a good team, it's still going to be tricky making it to state.
It is.
Especially in number sense, because you've got Grapevine in there, and you've got like Eric Tong and Piyush.
Yes.
Did you know, by the way, this is kind of a fun fact, the Grapevine coach, Sterling Bristow, he was a student at Abilene Wylie back in like the early 2000s.
Really?
Like 2007 to like 2010, I think, that range. He was actually a student at our school. His mom used to coach tennis.
Really?
Yeah, at our school.
So you got that Wylie connection.
Yeah, so we always see him at meets and say hi. Yeah, his son, not his son, his brother is younger and just graduated with my class.
Oh, really?
From Wylie, yeah.
Wow, so great. Hey, isn't that the beauty of UIL, all these connections?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely cool. I've got all these people coming to UT that, I mean, besides Dylan, like the two of us are the only two from Wylie going to UT. But like James Reagan is going to UT, Tony Wang's going to UT, James, who am I thinking of? Derek Lee is going to UT. Like we've just consolidated everyone into like this into this great group, and it's gonna be. I'm excited.
Some great.
You're gonna meet people that you already know, basically.
And they're spectacular academically, spectacular. Mm-hmm. So that's already a great core group you have there.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Hey, so Mr. Adam, Ayden Gertiser, state champion. You were a young guy once paying attention. What about the young guys who come across this interview? What do you got for them? What advice would you give them?
Ooh, I would say this is definitely the biggest piece of advice I would give is check out my YouTube channel.
Yes.
Little bit of a plug here, but check out my YouTube channel. It's called Investigative Math. I write like solutions for tests, and I recently started putting out some like statistics videos. That's a little bit of a plug, but really, I want to just say practice, and it sounds cheesy, but I mean it really comes down to just how much time you put in. The more time you put in, just even if it's bad practice, a lot of time put in with bad practice is going to make you pretty good. And a lot of time put in with good practice is going to make you just exceptional.
I'm going to put the link to your YouTube channel in the video description below.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because what I call it is synergy. Synergy. The channel's helping out. So that's awesome. And some good stuff from a champion. From a champion.
Yep.
So I've seen some of those instructional videos. They're awesome.
Yeah. The other thing I would say about practicing, this is something that my teammates did a lot, and honestly, I did a lot before I really got into it. Is whenever you're working a test, it's really easy to like just skim it and be like, oh, I know how to do that. I know how to do that, and then not answer those ones. But it's actually the ones that you know how to do that if you practice. Obviously, you need to learn new material, but if you practice stuff you already know, it'll help you with speed. It'll help you not miss problems. And whenever you have math, where on average to answer every question you have 40 seconds per problem, you need to be able to do the ones you know quick, so that whenever you hit those ones you don't know how to do, then you have time to work them.
Great advice.
So don't just practice passively. Don't be like, oh, I know how to do that. Like I don't have to practice that. Just solve it anyway. Just solve it anyway. That's probably the best piece of advice I could give.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Hey, now that you go to UT, are you going to continue putting up the instructional videos, time permitting?
I'm definitely, I'm going to try it. I'm not sure how crazy my schedule's going to be because I'm trying out for the band there as well. And, with college marching band, it can get pretty crazy sometimes. Yeah. So I'm definitely going to try. At the bare minimum, what I'm going to try to do is, like, as invitationals come out, I'll try to instead of making, like, a full series of videos, I might just do, like, a live stream for those problems.
Awesome.
So it might not be as consistent, but I'm going to do my best.
Hey, absolutely. And it's very, very valuable for those who tune in. I know.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, so what's your what do you value the most? Your UIL journey. What do you value the most?
Ooh. I think the ability to just like put your head down and say, "Oh, I have this goal and I want to work towards this goal," and be able to like just like set checkpoints, know that, well, if I get to this point, then I know I'm on the right track, and just be able to keep going and keep going. The other thing is you learn not to take. This is something that I see a lot of high schoolers struggle with, and it's that they put a lot of self-worth on their test scores, and not just like in school, but in UIL. And you may think that that's easy to say from someone that's just one state, but you have to realize that like sometimes you just have a bad day. It's not because you're it's not because you're bad at math or because you're dumb or because you were not practicing enough. Well, I mean, sometimes it is because you're not practicing enough. And to be able to congratulate those that beat you, because whenever you put in that much time and that much effort, and someone beats you, you really know that that they wanted it and they worked for it, and there's a lot of respect there. So great example, Agnev Sarkar over at Frisco, at district or something. I think he was making low 200s, 210s, 220s at district. And then you see him come to regionals, and at regionals he makes a 320. And I'm like, what? Where were you for that month? Were you only practicing math? And I mean, maybe he was, but I mean, he's really smart, but you have to be smart and be a hard worker to do that. And so whenever he came out on top of UIL State, Tony and I were just wow. It's because we know how hard we work. And so for him to come out on top after being down so late in the game, it was lots of respect.
I agree with you. You have to applaud academic excellence. If you're lucky, you know how many people work hard and do not become a state champion? It doesn't diminish.
Almost me. Almost me.
I mean, I'm so happy that you reached the mountaintop. I'm so happy you can call yourself a state champion, because that's special. But my opinion of you would not have been any worse if you had come in second again. It's nice to be a champion, man. You know what I'm saying? But just when competition drives us to excel, we all win. We all win. Awesome.
Definitely.
Hey, so the future, UT, what are you going to study?
Oh, I'm going to major in physics. There's different branches that you can major in. There's space sciences and computational, which is physics mixed with computer science. There's biophysics and radiation, and there's a bunch of different things you can do. They don't make you decide right away, but right now I'm leaning towards either the computational or towards like the astro side. I haven't really decided yet. I'm going to take some introductory courses and kind of figure that out.
Hey, that sounds so fascinating, so exciting, so exciting. I'm very excited for you.
But hey, computer science, I mean, even if I don't end up doing physics, having a good computer science background is going to help a lot.
Oh, I bet. No doubt. No doubt. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I know you enjoy learning, and I think it's going to be a wonderful time for you, and I'm so excited for you. Will you stay connected to Abilene Wylie High School? Will you stay connected to the UIL community?
Well, I'm going to UT Austin, so what I'm going to try to do is like volunteer at the state meet at the end of the year. They've moved it so that it's like after the semester, and so I'm going to see if I can just stay like a day or two extra because I don't want to have to drive the 4 hours all the way back to Abilene and then come back. But I'll definitely stay connected in that way. I mean, obviously, I'm still connected with like Arnav and Paul and my coaches, and they're not afraid to ask questions. They're really keen on growing, and they don't really care where the growth comes from as long as it's happening. Which I mean, honestly, is a great mindset. But yeah, I'll definitely stay connected.
And the Discord, you can stay connected to the Discord server.
That's right. I can stay connected in the Discord.
So, awesome stuff. Awesome stuff.
And I guess my YouTube channel in itself is staying connected.
That's right.
Yeah.
Investigative math.
You know where that comes from?
No, tell me.
You know where that comes from? I couldn't think of a good name to give it because I didn't want to just call it like UIL math because I mean it would have come up on the search bar if you just searched on Google.
Yeah, you're right.
But I was trying to think of like a clever name. Like you have 3 blue 1 brown. You have like black pen, red pen. You have like all those, and I'm like, what should I call this? And in fact, the class period that we have like at Wylie for like our practice period on the syllabus, it's called investigative math, and so I just named it after the class.
Good choice. I think it's a great name. Great name.
Well, thanks. It was meant to just be a placeholder, and then I never really thought of anything better.
Hey, but as a computer scientist, you got to play around with that algorithm, see what maximizes the possibility. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. I haven't figured out the YouTube algorithm. I'm not even sure the people at YouTube know the YouTube algorithm. It seems interesting. But I do know if you like the videos, then they get suggested more. So
yes.
I do know that.
Exactly. Hey, Ayden Gertiser, state champ in Class 5. Any parting words or final thoughts as we conclude this interview?
Oh yeah. I mean, you're gonna get knocked down a lot of times. You're gonna get to the state meet probably at least a couple times, and you're probably not gonna win the first the majority of you watching this are not going to win a state title. And for those of you that don't, that's not because like you haven't practiced enough. That's just because there's some incredible competition here. And if you put your head down and you really practice and you decide that this is like something that you want, then you will become one of those people. But you have to remember that if even one person in your whole classification makes that decision and you don't, then there's no way you're going to win. So that's my advice.
Great advice. Great advice. I've been a fan these years, right? I've been a real fan.
Oh, yeah.
But Ayden, that doesn't stop. I remain a fan of you in life. So now as you go to UT and you pursue your physics or computer science or wherever life takes you, I remain a fan, man. And you hold the distinction, Ayden. You hold the distinction of being the very first active student I ever interviewed on my channel. Because before, I just interviewed like people from yesteryear, from the past. And then you were the first actual student that I actually put on my show. And I remember because you made a comment on one of the videos, and I was like, wait a minute, I know this name. I know he is actually, we had done results show. And I saw you comment. I was like, oh, let me get in contact with this young man. Because I saw your brilliance back then, man. So just know, I'm a fan. I'm going to remain a fan of yours in life. Best of luck to you. I hope our paths cross many, many times. Hopefully at UT Austin when you volunteer for the state meet. But anytime you find yourself in Houston, I hope you consider me a friend. You got my phone number. Give me a call. Let's go have some tacos. And let's.
Oh yeah, I saw those videos of you down in the valley with the tamales.
Yes.
That looks like fun.
It is fun, man. It's a network, and I look forward to crossing paths many times and remaining connected in the future.
Oh yeah, definitely. Thanks.
I wish you the best of luck. Good luck and farewell, Ayden. Farewell.
All right, bye-bye. Thanks.
Bye-bye. Wow, what a great interview, what great insight from the state champion, Texas Class 5A 2023 from Abilene Wylie High School, Ayden Gertiser. Thank you, Ayden, for your insight. Thank you for your friendship and your support of the channel through the years. I really appreciate you, and good luck in the future. I hope we stay connected. Let me take a quick moment and ask that if you enjoy this content, that you please hit the subscription button and the notification bell, that you leave a comment below, and you smash that like button. It really helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. Let's spread this joy, let's spread this beauty to as many people as possible. I have plenty of wonderful things in store for this channel, and I truly appreciate your support. My name is Saul Tantu, and this is Texas Math